back then, so I was Skyping with my uncle, who's a sociologist, and by that time he was working with the homeless community in an independent project. There's where he met Paulo. So he told me his story like in a different way that it is told here, and I was especially triggered by the movement that this story made to reach me. Like, he told me the story that these other men had lived, and I ended up telling the story to most people that I knew because I was so struck by it. So there's like 3 generations of the same story.
And what was your relationship with him during the shooting? Because sometimes here on the end of his telling, and he's looking to you and says, tell me something. What was your relationship with him?
I don't, like, our deal was really simple. When I met him and I suggested that, or asked him if he wanted to participate in this film, he said, okay, then I'm using you to tell my story. And I said, that's fine because I'm using you to do this film, so it's a fair trade. And from this moment on, we just tried to build this relationship in order to be filmed. So on the set we were working, and that's it. So this relationship was built for it, and after that we were just, that's private.
Are there any questions? Because with the lights it's very difficult. Okay, then I want to ask you something about the levels, because it's a narrative with 3 levels. It seems like a documentary. Then it's a story of a thriller, a political thriller. It's sometimes crazy like James Bond. And on the end is also a reflection about our concept of reality. So what's documentary? Even exists documentary?
Yeah, I guess what is interesting for me here is like playing with the documentary genre in a way, and the way it should be, like this authenticity attached to it. So my starting point was this idea of the difference between, or trying to blur this difference between the act of storytelling, the act of remembering someone's experience, like their memories, almost in this Wittgenstein way, the act of remembering, like as in the games of words, together with how this history crystallizes and becomes a fixed image. So my idea was to blur like the difference between these 3 layers, and if this works, then you as a viewer maybe try to liquidate this difference between fact and fiction in a way. But it was mainly this kind of situation. Together, I mean, there's, for instance, if you read the Kapuscinski novel, it's a journalistic piece, but at the same time it's highly romanticized. And there's people that said, okay, he couldn't be like covering all the revolutions and all the protesta in several different countries at the same time, but somehow he manages to describe the events in a way that it's really cinematic, because you can really create images in your head about it. And so there's like a big difference between literature that is related to imagination and reporting the so-called facts. And if you have, like, there's an analogy that if you have this brick wall and that is based on reality, then you start removing like 1 or 2 bricks that are fictional on this wall, and then this wall will just crumble down because it wouldn't be actually sustainable. But those are like the main focus of this work to me.
Are there any questions from the audience?
Yes, first I want to thank you for this great film. I really love it. I have one question. Maybe I didn't get it very well due to language problems. I want to know more about the story of the material he wanted to bring you, which would bring some proofs or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say that I'm interested in his truth and not mine and not someone else, because we are dealing with events that are really contemporary, they're really recent, so they're not fixed in books, they're not in museums, so it's really hard, and it would be really pretentious if I was trying to tell you what really happened. So, and I think Paulo is aware of the situation that if there's documents, there's no proof, so it's not a fact, so therefore it's false. And for instance, like, this can be really silly, but I was once arrested when I was really young because I crossed the border and I have no ID card because I left it at home. And suddenly it's like you are nobody, you know? I can say like my name is Salomé and I'm from Portugal, but then I'm arrested because I could be named whatever. So I guess he's really aware of how this paperwork works. And he's the one that was obsessed by the documents. I don't know. I never asked for the documents. He was the one that wanted me to bring them. I always said I don't need the documents.
My question is very short. What kind of documents are possible in this situation where everybody wants to hide away any documents of killings?
Yeah, because the thing is that it was really impossible to trigger. Like, for instance, I read a lot of Spanish press, and there's reference to Paulo and some other people that did this kind of jobs and that were arrested by that time, like almost 10 years after like the shootings. But then you realize that they're just contradicting each other, and so it's really hard. But back to your question, can you tell me again?
Second question. How long it has been that Paulo came out of the jail after 15 years? How much time has he spent then afterwards before getting in contact with you?
I believe around 15 years.
Yeah, another question. Andrew?
I just wanted to ask you about the location you chose for shooting it. When watching the film, I was thinking about Don DeLillo's novella Point Omega, where the protagonist is making a documentary and talks about finding the perfect location or the perfect wall to shoot against. And I wondered whether it was important for you to find it. It seemed to be in the way you set up the shot at the beginning that it was important to find the right location to shoot in. And also why you chose not to have any kind of conversation in the film, why we didn't hear your voice or questioning. I was wondering how much conversation happened that we didn't see on screen.
Yeah, so when I realized all these questions that I was telling to you, I figured out that this would only be possible with Paulo, because I talked with a lot of people, psychiatrists, PTSD specialists, and then I realized that we had to focus on Paulo, otherwise it wouldn't be possible to. So by that time I said, okay, one of his demands was that the place we choose for the location should be really private and intimate, so that no one could actually listen to what we were talking. And by that time, the producer suggested that the DP should be Japanese, because then he wouldn't be able to understand a word of what Paulo was saying. So, and then the sound guy was really shy and really quiet in the corner. And this interview, like when you allowed an interview to take place, then you are actually asking your character to choose the way he wants to behave towards the viewer. So I believe that not having my questions in there, it kind of helps you, or almost forces this really radical cleanness and minimal setting. And regarding to the location, I was just like, I wanted to have that chair in the middle of the framing, because I believe that it has like a double meaning, because at the same time you could feel that when he's gonna sit on that chair, he's gonna be judged by you and not by me, because otherwise it wouldn't be possible. So I just